Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, the Lover, also known as the Power to Duelist, back for you with another video. And with the XYZ Festival drawing to a close, I kinda wanted to take a moment to talk about the deck I played and had an absolute blast with. I was playing Time Thief for this one, and this absolutely reminded me why I love this deck. It is so much fun to play, such a solid control strategy that has such interesting boss monsters in Retrograde and Perpetua. So with that out of the way, let's quickly talk about the deck and get this over with. Initially I was starting off here with a kind of the Gamma package. I just had these lying around because I opened the Time Thieves secret pack, of course, and those are also in that. You can most definitely substitute these with like any hand trap you have, like the one Ash Blossom you see. Haven't crafted my playset yet, so this is kind of my replacement for it. And considering there's a Garnet in there, you can get an additional slot out of this for like hand traps and maybe other cool stuff you would like. In terms of main deck monsters, I was on 3 Winder. This guy is absolutely insane, because on the one hand he's an extender, because you can detach a material from an XYZ monster you control to special him from your hand, and on the other hand he also searches you additional cards, because when he is normal or special, you can add a Time Thief card from deck to hand. Really powerful. You want to keep this guy in rotation as much as possible, revive him each turn of your Perpetua, so you each turn are able to get that additional search in for your advantage. A copy of Time Thief Bezel Ship. This is also another really neat extender, because while this is in the graveyard, you can detach a material from an XYZ monster you control to special summon it, and you contribute this from the field to attach a Time Thief XYZ monster you control with a card from your opponent's graveyard. But in most cases you will be using this for the extension. Then, I guess like the main deck playmaker in Time Thief Regulator. This is an archetypal rescue rabbit, which is quite nice in a rank 4 focus strategy. While you control no other monsters, you contribute this guy to special summon 2 Time Thief monsters with different names from your deck in defense, giving you easy access to Winder and Adjuster, because those are the 2 that do something on summon. Also, while this guy in the grave, if an XYZ monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can revive him, which is quite nice, giving you maybe a bit more options for follow-up play. I play a copy of Chronocorder. You can most likely do without this, but I just decided to run it. During your opponent's battle phase, you contribute this guy, and the next battle damage you take is instead inflicted to your opponent. And also, while he's in the grave, similar to a regulator for battle, if an XYZ monster leaves the field by card effect, you can revive this guy. In terms of rank 4 extenders, I played some Raid Raptors here. 3 copies of Raider's Wing. This works similar to kind of a Winder and Bezel Ship. While in hand or graveyard, you can detach a material from one of your dark XYZ monsters. Spoiler alert, all of the Time Thief XYZ are dark. To special summon him. He also makes the dark XYZ monster you summon with him untargetable, which is quite nice. But since you're banishing your redoer a couple of times, that protection won't stick for long, but it's still nice to have. A copy of Strangleanius. This guy is just a free body if you control a dark. Locks you into darks for the rest of the turn, so you kind of need to watch out for that, but it's not that big of a deal. So yeah. Then final Time Thief main deck monster, Time Thief Adjuster. If you normal or special a Time Thief except herself, you can special summon her from the hand, and if she is normal or special, you can send a Time Thief card from your deck to the graveyard. With her, you need to be a bit careful though, because you can only use one of her effects per turn, which is a bit weird. But in most cases, you will be summoning her off Regulator, using the dump effect, and then you're probably good to go. But in those corner cases, she does provide a very nice archetypal extender. Playing 3 Forbidden Chalice. This is just like a very solid budget option to imperm. Not only because this is good going first, because you can negate monster effects by flipping this on your opponent's turn, but also good going second, because you can activate this to negate your opponent's monster effects. Simple as that. 2 copies of Caught by the Grave. This deck really doesn't like Ash Blossom on something like the Regulator and even Redoer, because he can draw you cards. So having, you know, Caught by the Grave is very nice. Gamma can also work in some ways in those situations because you tribute Regulator. So you can definitely protect your Regulator activation with the Gamma from Ash Blossom as well. 3 Torrential Tribute. This could be any good generic trap card you have lying around. Something mandatory again in the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. You can special summon this guy as a level 4 warrior. And if you have no traps in grave, you can activate this guy even if he was set this turn. This is not only a very neat level 4 extender, just like the Raid Rap does, but this guy is also a trap material for your Redoer, which is very, very powerful, giving you easy setup for the powerful spin effect of that guy. Infinite Impermanence here, started off with Dino Mishes in the slot. Again, this slot could be any staple trap card you like or have access to. A copy of Time Thief Flyback. This is the one Garnet you kind of need for the deck, because you want to have like that one Time Thief card you can safely attach to your Redoer with your Perpetua. And Flyback is the best option because it also has a graveyard effect, because you can banish this card from your graveyard to attach a card from your opponent's graveyard to a Time Thief Xyz monster you control as a material, which is very nice. Giving you kind of that DD Crow-esque interaction. 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Again, this is also a flexible spot. This could be any, you know, good generic trap card you like or have, just like the Tribute and the Imperms. 3 Time Thief Retrograde. When a spell or trap card is activated while you control a Time Thief Xyz monster, you can negate the activation and attach that card to a Time Thief Xyz monster you control. Another good way to give you access to Redoer's powerful spell and trap effects when detaching materials, so that is really nice. And on the topic of Redoer, let's get into them. Once per turn, during the standby phase, you can attach the top card of your opponent's deck to him as a material, and by quick effect you can detach up to 3 different types of card types of materials from him, and then apply following effects. If you detached a monster, you can banish this card until the end phase. If you detached a spell, you can draw a card, and if you detached a trap, you can stack a face-up card your opponent controls to the top of their deck. Really powerful control tool, very unique Xyz boss in how his effects work. One of the main reasons why I really like Time Thieves and why this was so much fun playing, because Redoer is really tough to deal with, especially considering that he is a very generic rank 4 to make. So that was a lot of fun. Being able to easily protect himself by detaching monsters, giving you additional cards by detaching a spell, and also having an interruption by detaching a trap. The other Time Thief Xyz monster you definitely don't want to miss out on the 2 copies of Time Thief Perpetua I am running here. Also running 2 Redoer. I just like having the 2 copies for safety purposes, but you can probably do with 1. Also, in the Stamper phase, you can detach a material from her to target a Time Thief monster in graveyard, except herself, and revive that target. In most cases, you will be bringing back a Winder for continuous resource generation. Also, quick effect, you can target one other Xyz monster you control and attach a Time Thief card from your deck to it, giving you that, you know, flyback attached to Redoer to set up Redoer spin. Which is quite nice. So yeah, Perpetua is absolutely great for that. The third Time Thief Xyz monster is Time Thief Double Barrel. This guy doesn't steal top cards, but the rest of his effect works similar to Redoer. He can also detach up to 3 different types of materials from him if your opponent activates a card or effect, not on a generic quick effect, unlike Redoer. If you detached a monster from him, he will gain 400 attack. If you detached a spell, you would take control of a face-up monster your opponent controls until the end phase, but it cannot declare or activate its effects. And if you detached a trap, you can negate the effects of an effect monster on the field until the end of this turn. He's cool, but Redoer is just cooler, you know? And that's the issue with him. Otherwise, the rest of the extra deck is quite flexible. I'd even say Double Barrel is cuttable. So outside of like the 2 Redoer, 2 Perpetua, you are flexible with the rest of the 11 slots. You can run just generic powerful rank 4s like Tornado Dragon, Utopia, Castell, whatever you have lying around. If you are looking for some good budget options, Evil Swarm Nightmare is a very nice kind of Book of Moon for a special summoned monster that you can easily make. Photon Purple Operative, funnily enough, came up in some games for me. In 2022, I know, yes. Otherwise, number 52 Diamond Crab King is just a generic 3k body you can make for, you know, swings over or into powerful monsters. Super Quantal Mech Beast or Aeroboros is a kind of less reactive Evil Swarm Nightmare, where it's just you detach a material and you can book off mono monster. Sadly not on a quick effect. Malevolent Sin is just a nice beat stick. If you find yourself lucky enough to have a Raider's Knight, but you don't have the UR materials or don't have a Arc Rebellion Dragon, Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon is also a very neat target for that. Because you can detach a material from him to destroy as many special summon monsters your opponent controls and deal 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. But again, the extra deck is quite flexible outside of Redoer and Perpetua, I'd say. So you can kind of, you know, work with the rank 4 toolbox as you see fit or as your card pool allows it. Yeah, with all that out of the way, I definitely really got reminded why I think this is a very, why I really like this kind of control strategy. You have a lot of very neat interactions and very powerful turn 1 setups. Sometimes just dealing with a singular Redoer and like a couple of back row can be really tough for a lot of decks. And if you're able to make your opponent stumble once, they will continue to stumble on the following turns, because with Perpetua and Winder, you are easily able to continuously generate additional card advantage to stop your opponent from getting off the ground into any meaningful place. Yeah, definitely was an absolutely fun time. Really great just playing this deck again. So yeah, I don't know. What did you guys play for the XYZ Festival? Definitely let me know down below. And what your takes are on Time Thieves. But I think with all that out of the way, I will thank you guys very much for watching and see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.